Fellow tennis nerds, I'm here with Adri and Adam testing some VCores, new VCores. We have the 98, 98 Tour 100 and 100D. And we start with your first impressions. We start with Adam, who's been playing them more.
So I started with the 98 as the baseline. I used to use the 98D about 10 years ago. I think it's evolved quite a lot since then. Built for spin, built for to play with height. And first thing, actually, it felt different than a lot of the VCores that I'd recently tested. I think the previous generation was quite soft and flexy. This one felt a little firmer, and I didn't get as much whip as with the other VCores. But decent feeling racket. It felt a bit jarring around the edge of the frame when you don't hit it clean, which I didn't hit it very clean too often. But yeah, it's a good racket. I think it may need a little weight, probably, but decent racket. There were better ones in the lineup, I think.
You didn't play the 98 so much. You played more the 98 Tour. Did you have any opinions, Adri, about the 98?
Yeah, I mean, I did like it. I'm currently using a 98, so it felt familiar when it comes to the head size. The previous VCores, I felt them more like more maneuverable, like more spinny, more lively racket. This racket feels like it's gone down in the liveliness and is a little bit more, I'd say, more stiff, a little bit more predictable. Maybe you'll get less RPM on the shots, I believe. At least it's more difficult to kind of. I know the VCore was kind of made for that, or designed for that. Have high
launch angle, yeah.
Launch angle. This one was much lower. I kind of felt like the shots were going quite low.
Yeah, we got decent weight in our shots, but not really height or spin. That's what I felt.
Yeah, and even more so with this one. Like, so, Adri, you played a lot with the 98 Tour. Adam, you've tried that a lot as well. This, in both of your level range, is kind of the racket you maybe would go for. Adri, what do you think? Like, it had its life of its own a little bit when you played.
Yeah, no, this one was very interesting because I feel like I'm quite a spinny player, not too much, but this one, there was no lag. It actually kind of adjusted my technique kind of automatically. I kind of have a lag on my swing, but this one, it was kind of like backswing and like hammer through it. I'd say a little bit like Del Potro kind of shots. This one, I feel like technically, like my technique kind of goes like this, and then I have this little whip. But this one is like
it's tough to whip it.
Super heavy. Yeah. In that plane.
So the guys are talking about like the Tour. It's so tough to whip, and you can see it on Adri's shots here. Like they have so much weight on them. I was on the other side, but they want to go flat, like, and they can easily go long. You have to adapt a little bit his technique to the racket here, and that kind of whip, it's like the racket takes over because it's too heavy. So you need to be a certain style of player and level of player to play with this one. But when he's connecting, it's good. But that's flying. That's flying.
Yeah. Then I'm not like coming over it because it's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too heavy to play, but like at some wristy spin, you know, it's like you have to hit like flat cannons. Yeah.
And it's great. I kind of feel like I need to hit at 80%.
Yeah.
Because at 100, that happens.
As soon as you're starting to accelerate, like you kind of lose track of the racket, and the racket has its own life, right?
And then it just goes through it.
Yeah, that's what I felt as well. I think also for Adam was the same thing. I mean, in a match, you're probably playing like 80% anyways.
Yeah, the VCore Tour has the right name. It's really ready for the Tour. It's like heavy specs, heavy swing weight. But when you connect well with the ball, and if you're a very good player, I think you will get rewarded with this racket. A little bit more of a weapon than the previous Tour.
Que buena.
So that was interesting. It was super heavy. I mean, I hit with you, Jonas. I hit with Adam. I hit against both of you. And the shots were like very flat, very direct, very heavy. And I did feel that on my shots. I felt like I had to constantly hit at 80%. If I hit a bit too soft, the ball would kind of not have much on it. And if I overhit it, I kind of like lose control of the shot. Like the tip of the racket would kind of like go its own way. And then, so you have to kind of like play in that 80%, which is ideal when you're competing. You don't want to be hitting 100% every shot, of course, and you don't want to be hitting 60 all the time either. You kind of need to find that level and just continuously play. So for those kind of players that like to flatten it out, hit strong, heavy shots, it could really, really work. Because it did feel good. It did feel good once you know that.
That's the racket I would have to go for based on specs, you know. But I'm a wristy player, so I would have to get used to that weight and heft behind the ball. But once you do hit it clean, it's automatic.
Yeah.
It's a bit like a missile. It's not like the most spin-oriented racket, like I would say. Like, I think it's easier to weigh up the VCore 98 to your specs than to have the VCore Tour, because it really like sends the ball on a missile. And also, like, if you look at the specs, this is ready for the ATP Tour because it's like 307 non-strung swing weight, and it's a heavy beast. It's heavier than some ATP pros play today. You know?
The balance is super heavy.
Yeah. So it's like it's a heavy stick. You both play well with it, and the shots were really tough to face, just like when the missile ball came. But there's also a risk of you losing the racket head and you're missing, you know, when you're playing points. So I think this could be a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like there's a one-way style with that racket. With
Yeah.
This one, you kind of need to go for that.
Agreed. Yeah. You have to be.
For it to be efficient for you or effective.
The other favorite you both had, I would say, is the 100D, which is the new version in the lineup this year. 1620 pattern, a little bit more heavyweight, solid.
Yeah, this felt like a typical VCore. Weight behind your shot, spin, and decent comfort. You know, it's not too thick for a 100 square inch, too thick of a beam for a 100 square inch racket. And I like the shape of the ball hitting with this. I think the extra weight on this one compared to the standard 100 helped. And the 16x20 pattern, I think it's great. It'd be nice to see more rackets with this string pattern.
It's coming more and more, no? 1620, more models are
1819 and 1620, I think.
more powerful. Then they kind of need to like add some control in it, adding an extra cross.
Yeah, the cross string I think is a good idea, and you saw that with the Percept 100D as well, when which is 1819. And compared to this one, you could see it when you hit Adri, is that you definitely had like a nice sensation when you hit the ball, like a lot of dwell time, but you had some flyers as well compared to the 100D.
Out of both, they're very similar. They are the same racket, no? Just that this one has one less string. Is that true?
A little
Yeah,
bit of weight.
a little bit of weight, yeah.
Out of all the four, that was my favorite.
Yeah.
The 100D, is it? 100D,
Yep, the 100D.
1620.
This goes a little bit more.
I'm gonna put one more time.
Yep. 100D, more control, one more cross string, a little bit heavier. Swing weight also a bit heavier.
So we all felt like the 100D was the most interesting racket here, had like a good balance of power, but some control thanks to the extra cross string, good weight, swing weight not too high, not too low. So I think for us, this was the best racket in the lineup, at least first impressions. Leah preferred the 98, but it's more her style, but the 100D for us was the best frame of the bunch we tried.
That was my favorite out of the ones I tried today. 100 head, I'm currently using 98, and it's still my favorite out of the range that we did try today. I felt like I had really good control. This one I felt like hitting it the same way as that one. These ones were kind of going long sometimes. On that one I know that I kind of felt like if they would go long, it was my fault, not the racket's fault. Although I would like to blame the racket every time.
We always want to blame the rackets, I do know from personal experience. Yeah, so interesting lineup. I think very different from what we had before with the 2023, which was like soft and quite launchy. These were like more firm and more solid. Like, so they went like the completely different direction, which is interesting in a way.
Which models did you have? Did you have the 100D or the 198?
198. I think I will get the 100D as well. That racket sounds very promising, a little bit more heavy, 1620 string pattern, more like a more solid version of the 100. So I'm really looking forward to try that one. I've only hit with those rackets for about maybe an hour and a half. So I just got them. I strung them up with the Polytour Pro. 21 for the 98 and 22 for the 100. Very well dampened. Somewhat muted, but it's a good feel. It's more solid than the 2023 version. I would say the sweet spot is bigger. It feels better to play with, especially the VCore 100. The 98 is, I mean, I'm a decent player, but to use a 98 effectively is not really for me anymore. It's also an improvement of the previous version, but I would say the 100 is a big improvement in my opinion. It's really solid. It's a good ball bite. It's easy to play with. It's like you have power steering and traction control and everything if you compare it with a car. So yeah, it's a good improvement, and I really love the design. I mean, it's a nice update, both cosmetically and to play with.
To summarize this review, the new VCores go back to old school feel and performance, more similar to the SV line than the 2023 edition. The rackets feel more solid, which makes them slightly less whippy, but more stable at the net, for example. I cannot say that the VCores are as explosive as the Aeros, but in this generation they offer a good control and stability with some decent power. The VCore 100 is more dependable, but can still be a little wild at times. The VCore 100D fixed that with a denser pattern. However, the higher weight and swing weight will make it more demanding to swing. The VCore 98 is maybe the least impressive, as it feels like the least different in terms of sweet spot size. It played like a quite demanding racket to me, but when you connect with the ball, it does the job well. The VCore 98 Tour is for advanced players that can handle the heft and has excellent technique and footwork. This update sends the ball on a flatter trajectory, and the racket is heavy enough to be taken straight onto the ATP Tour. Overall, solid but not whippy racket, better stability at the net, improved control, tougher to generate topspin, and overall more difficult to use. Still an improvement if you ask me. If you feel like this review deserves an update beyond these strong first impressions, I will make one later on. Thanks for watching.
So 100D, the favorite of all of the bunch?
Favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's the same for me.
Yeah.
And we're different type of players.
We are different type of players. The specs, I would probably go for this if I was competing, but this was my favorite.
And you could probably weigh that up with some handle weight, and you have like a little bit
Exactly.
of
A lot of potential in this one.
But I would keep it that, but at least in my case, I would weigh it up, but like kind of the same specs, just heavier.
yeah, just keep the balance. Thanks, guys. Now it's time for Adri to play some paddle. We'll have a beer. Thank you. Have a nice day. Ciao. And don't forget to play some tennis.